Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. This phrase, taken from a Hindu text, was said by Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. Inspired by this story, Oda brings us all the guilt that Vegapunk carries for having been directly responsible for reactivating one of the ancient weapons with his mother flame. One Piece 1116 focuses not only on revelations. In fact, we had few revelations in this chapter, but its focus is on Vegapunk's guilt. Additionally, the top brass of the Navy seems to be more aware of the atrocities the world government has committed than we imagined. And a question about a pirate group: why didn't they do anything? Let's discuss everything about Chapter 1116 of One Piece after the intro. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Before we get into the content of this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. That way you won't miss any new videos. So let's get into the video. We start with the cover, and we have another moment of Yamato preparing for her journey. She seems to be doing an odd job as an office boy here, delivering medicines and dango to Otsuru. Note the mark on the face of Kinemon's wife. Part 1. Portrait and Mother Flame. Chapter 111-16 begins with people doubting what Vegapunk said. How can a war last this long if the people of that time are all dead? Notice Imusama looking at a giant portrait of a woman in the flower garden. Clearly it seems to be Nefertari D. Lily. The central question here is why? And at this moment, what is Lily's connection to the war itself as Imu looks at this portrait exactly at this moment? Could Lily have been an unrequited love, a sister? His mother? At the same time Imu looks at this portrait, we see something curious. Igaram and Karu crying as they look at a photo of Vivi, who is currently missing. In fact, Vivi and Lily seem very similar. But beyond that, we see the burial of King Cobra, where we see a giant photo of him in the center of a place that resembles the royal crypt shown in Chapter 202. However, what caught my attention here is that the portraits seem to be the same size, both the one of the woman in Imu's flower room and King Cobra's. Could this photo have come from a possible false burial of Lily? The chapter continues with Vegapunk talking about the Mother Flame to the world, the pinnacle of his inventions, an invention he was sure would bring the world into an era of abundance. However, a fragment of this power was stolen. A quick note here, while Vegapunk talks about this, we see Stussy accepting Edson's request to escape. But she asks for Kaku's life, to free him, because, like it or not, they are friends, and he has another priority here, probably to flee and not go after the Straw Hats. We see an emotional expression from Kaku here, showing that Stussy cares about them. I always thought Kaku was a guy who could easily switch sides, and now I believe he could make this change. Kaku is very different from Rob Lucci in this. Oh, and in the meantime, Jew Peter finally appeared. He is being a giant vacuum cleaner, but sucking up all the Cypher Pool agents. Back to the Mother Flame, we have Vegapunk's Oppenheimer moment. I think it's clear to everyone that the Mother Flame must be inspired by atomic energy. And just like Oppenheimer, the father of the bomb, who fell into total guilt over the bombs and the thousands of lives taken, Vegapunk on his knees asks for forgiveness for having been responsible for the activation of one of the ancient weapons, confirming definitively that the weapon that destroyed Lulusia was Uranus. Vegapunk then spills the beans about the disappearance of the kingdom of Lulusia, leaving many in shock. We had Moda, for example, a resident there, but King Elisabello II immediately asked for this to be verified. Certainly, we could see not only him, but many kingdoms turning against the world government after this. By apologizing and revealing the activation of a weapon of mass destruction, Vegapunk talks about the ancient weapons. Note that we see Momonosuke in shock, saying that Pluton is one of them. We see Shirahoshi, who is Poseidon, and Crocodile's reaction caught my attention. This is because he was the first villain to introduce the knowledge of an ancient weapon. He is a pirate who seems to have a desire for these weapons. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cross Guild, which is intellectually led by Crocodile, moves in the direction of the weapons. Vegapunk also reveals that Joy Boy wanted these weapons to reach the future generation, and that's why he can't say if Joy Boy's motivations were good or bad. To me, it's obvious that his motivations were good and that probably the initial use of the weapons is not for destruction but for something else. While Vegapunk says all this, we see the former fleet admiral, Sengoku, who seems uncomfortable with what he is hearing. However, it's unclear if he is uncomfortable because he is discovering that the government is corrupt and murderous, but I believe he is uncomfortable with the dirty secrets coming to light. If it's the second option, Sengoku falls a lot in my estimation. One who certainly fell even more in my estimation, at least, is Akainu. From his words, it seems he is aware of all this filth, and he is annoyed that Vegapunk is revealing everything. We also see York. She finally discovers where the Den Mushi is, so she warns that the Den Mushi must be inside the ancient robot. From here, we can trace a line of events. Probably York stole some of the Mother Flame and sent it to the Gorosei. They used it on Lulusia. Since Vegapunk already had the theory that the world had been flooded by human action, the destruction of Lulusia was the confirmation of this theory for him. At this moment, he hid the transmitter Den Mushi inside the ancient robot. This moment must have been when we saw him coming out of the robot. The chapter ends with a question from Vegapunk. According to him, the Lost Kingdom is shrouded in many mysteries, making it clear that even he knows little. But he concludes by saying that a pirate group discovered everything. This group is the Roger Pirates, the crew that reached One Piece and discovered all the truth about this world. As Rayleigh himself had already said in Sabaody, they discovered everything. But Vegapunk's question is, why didn't they do anything? As we see some members of Roger's crew like Crocus and Rayleigh, a drunk Rayleigh says, "Vegapunk, you talk too much. Don't take away the excitement from these young ones. Right, Roger?" The final phrase is emblematic. Those who knew the truth just laughed. And this phrase to me is very strong and impactful and raises even more the question. Why did Roger laugh when he reached One Piece and discovered everything? How can a sad story with millions of deaths and destruction bring sincere laughter to the Pirate King's crew? Oda managed with one phrase to greatly increase the question of what One Piece really is. Well, this was chapter 1116. Of course, we still have a lot to discuss in this chapter. So this break week, we will have many theory videos. But leave in the comments what you thought of this chapter. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. See you next time, and thank you.